This guy who's 20, he says, should I ask the barista out? She's 21. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like she's attracted to you and you're attracted to her, go for it. You know, I've done that in the past where I just basically asked her out cold right there and it worked. Um, yeah, but I was in like a state where I was in really confident. I think I just sold a house and I was really confident and I just, went for it without fear. And that's really how you have to kind of approach it. If you're just going to boom, boom, like cold like that. Especially when she's working and maybe you had a past relationship with her, just as far as like engaging with each other over, many times of getting coffee. Um, but yeah, I mean, why not? It's like if you get rejected, well, so what? Don't make it a big deal. And if you don't make it a big deal, she's like, okay, well, whatever. Just have like an attitude where it doesn't really bother you. And it's like her lost kind of attitude. And then just keep mind your own business, go sit in the coffee shop, and then don't make it a big deal. Like, don't have to, oh, I'm so embarrassed at myself. It's not really about that. It's like, okay, well, so what? Um, and then if you do, then that's awesome. Then you get the result that you wanted. So let's go for this. So there's this really pretty girl who works at the smoothie place I go to, and I think she might be into me, but I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable if she's just being friendly. Yeah, so if you approach it like that, like, oh, I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable, you're going to approach it in a less confident way, and that's probably not going to work for you. So you have to really overcome that fear. Sometimes that just comes from, well, taking action in that fear, sometimes being able to just kind of like walk away from a situation and mean it and just know it's like, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, whatever, I'm moving on. Having that kind of attitude that it just kind of instills more confidence and you just go for what you want without fear. I hadn't gone in for like a week a little while ago, and she said, wow, where have you been? I asked, did you miss me? Awesome, good line. Dude, yeah, hell yeah. Then she said, totally, you're always complimenting my hair. She changed her hair color a lot. Awesome. Yeah, that'd be a great opportunity right there. So it's like, well, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'd love to take you out to dinner when you're free. Boom, got it. And I went in today and she was the one who helped me. And I walked in without my mask today because I'm vaccinated. I wanted her to see my smile. That's not a good way to go. Like, that's not good. Just like, don't try to prove yourself and don't try to look at my smile. Nah, that's probably not going to work for you. And she gets to the register, and the first thing she says is, I need to change my hair color. She tells you to change your hair color. You'd say like, "Oh, speak for yourself." Tired of it, and then I made some joke about it, and then I asked what she does other than make smoothies, and she said that she sleeps a lot and gym. Then I asked for her name because I had forgot it. Okay, yeah, so that's an opportunity as well. So if you're asking for her name, it's like, does she ask you for your name? Is she engaged in like what you're doing? If you're asking her, what do you do outside of work, outside of this, it's like, does she kind of reciprocate that? Does she ask you what you like to do, or is she just answering it and then not leading anywhere? If she's not leading anywhere, it's probably not a good sign, and you just don't ask her out. But you ideally want to read her attraction. That's really when you take the action, is when she's giving you the signals of high levels of interest. And that really kind of overcomes that risk factor because she's really inviting you, especially if you can read for sure her signs. It's not probably always going to be 100% sure, but you can kind of take all these different things, her playing with her hair, her asking her questions, her enthusiastic, her sometimes getting in your proximity. Maybe she's at the coffee or at the smoothie shop in this case, and then she's like, finds a way to clean like right next to you when it's obvious that like doesn't really need to be cleaned, and she's kind of making opportunities for you to engage with her and talking, or making a move, or she's doing things like this situation. Is she going to ask for his name back? Let's check it out. And she told me her name, and she asked for mine. Awesome. And after she said she wouldn't forget it, excellent. And then she went even further to say, I'm not going to forget that. Dude, it's like, you're getting the signals. Boom. Ask her out. And she told me, yeah, okay, forget it. And she did a little hand gesture. I got my drink from the area where they put the drinks, and then she was walking by and smiled and said, hope to see you soon. Awesome. It's like, yeah, and sometimes you do want to differentiate like somebody just trying to get tips or being polite because they're at work. Um, but sometimes it's like if the signals are there and you feel it and you actually want to, it's like, well, be congruent with that. It's like, go for what you want. Don't hold back on what you want and say, oh, I'm going to make her uncomfortable. And so I'm going to basically suppress what I want as far as taking her out. So yeah, just be aware of those things and be congruent with what you feel. So it's like in this situation when she can probably feel that you want to take her out, but you're not necessarily being congruent because you're not going for it. You're not asking her out and being direct and kind of overcoming that fear. And so she's going to pick up on those signals that you're saying something, but you really want something else. That's going to be evident to her. Women are really good at picking up emotions, usually better than what guys are typically better at just being direct, decisive decisions, going for an outcome, sometimes being mission driven. But women are really good at kind of figuring out. It's almost like common sense for them to know kind of what you're feeling, or common sense that to know what their actions will make you feel, which is a little bit different from guys. They don't always have that. So just kind of different modes of communication. There's not one that's better than each other. They're just different ways of communicating, and they really supplement each other if you can really get a good pair. I'm not sure if she's just being friendly because I'm not sure how much more interest she can show if she's interested. Yeah, well, sometimes in those situations, it's just like you kind of have to take the risk or go for it. But know that with each time you go in there, it's not going to accumulate. Her interest isn't going to accumulate. It's like the moment has to be right in that present moment. So don't think that, oh, she showed me interest like these past 3 times. Don't think that her interest is going to be there this time. And so that's why you have to read it. And if the signal is there, you have to take the opportunity when it comes in that moment. Should I ask her out? She's really pretty and funny, and I like her vibes. Yeah, and if the vibe is there, and the next time you're with her and she's in a good mood, you're in a good mood, she shows interest again, then you go for it. It's like you missed a couple opportunities here that probably would have got you dates, but now it's kind of like, well, you have to wait for that opportunity to come again. Only reason I didn't do it today was because before I went in there was no line, and then all of a sudden 5 people came in after me, so I didn't want to hold up the line. Well, sometimes you just don't give a shit, it's like you don't really care about other people, and you just have the courage to ask her out in a public place, and that shows a lot of confidence to do. She said she's scheduled like all this week, so the opportunity is there. So the opportunity is there. Okay. So I'm not sure if that last line says that he asked her out and she said she had a schedule all this week. But it doesn't kind of go into further and just ends the post right there. But I'd say, hey, if you go back in there and then you figure out that her interest is, or she's giving you those signals and you feel like she's really kind of flirting with you, go for it, dude. And it's like, what do you got to lose? And don't get attached to it. And when you don't get attached to the result and say, hey, if you get denied, so what? If you get the date, great. So it's like, have that approach, and don't get so attached to the outcome. If you do that and you approach it where you eliminate that thing, like, oh, I'm not trying to make her uncomfortable, and just kind of halfway commit. It's like, you have to go commit fully. And so assume that she wants to see you. Hey, I'd love to take you out to dinner when you're free. Boom, that's it. And she's like, wow, I haven't been asked out like that in maybe ever. I know it's ever just like cold straight, went for exactly what they want. I'm free Friday. She's like, great. How about this place, this time, 6:00? She's like, yeah, that works for me. She gives you a day. Maybe she says Friday. Yeah. So you say Friday. Great. Boom, boom, boom. Lock it in. Hey, what's your number? Get her number right there. Says, great. If something comes up, I'll call you. I'll text her right now so you got my number. But then if something comes up, I'll call you. You can do the same. Otherwise, I'll see you there. Does that work for you? She's like, yeah, awesome. See you there. Take your smoothie, walk out, see you at the date.